Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to another build, and I think we could have a really good one on our hands today. Alright, so this build is a little different from the others that I've done because those ones all kind of had a theme or were just meant to test one thing. This one is more of a true build because I put it together with the intention of getting the best balance between high fame bonus and still actually being effective in combat. So I'm going to go through the equipment and explain some of the choices here, then we'll get into some fights, talk about the build, and get it a rating. So the Lionhead helm, this one doesn't actually need much explaining. It's probably the best helmet in the game. 80% armor, hardened and padded, good durability, 40% fame, it kind of speaks for itself. The Ferodaka, again, I just kind of picked my favorite weapon to use alongside a shield. You could use whatever you like here. Now the mail and plate arm, I chose this instead of the godly plate arm because this is neutral to fame while the godly arm has minus 10%, and the 75% armor on this one is still plenty. For legs, I've got the Myrodonian greaves just for the fame. I still don't think leg armor is too important, so these are really just here to boost the fame. And then I've got the Linoleum chest because if you watch the Myrodonian build, you'll kind of know why I picked this, and I'll talk about it more in a minute. Likewise, the double crescent shield, it really impressed me when I used it for the max fame build. So let's get into some fights and I'll talk a little bit more about the build. So if you haven't seen the Myrodonian build, it'll be linked down in the description so you could go watch that. But basically, the whole point of that was to test whether or not a chest piece actually matters that much. Because basically, I had on no chest piece, and then I had armor all around, I had a big shield. You know, I was still pretty protected, and I was able to protect my chest enough so that it wasn't really a liability. So that's the same kind of idea here. I want to see if, again, I can kind of protect my chest well enough with everything else that I can just wear this linoleum chest and get a bunch of fame without having to worry about dying because of it. And so the double crescent shield as well, I used it in the max fame build and it did really well. I thought that, you know, before when I had used it a while ago, because I kind of stopped using it because I thought I didn't like it. Now that I've been using it again, it kind of feels like one of these big shields that this guy has. It kind of blocks everything and I just haven't had any problems with it yet, so I thought let's use it again and see how it goes. Because I think the next best weapon, the next best fame bonus you can get from a shield is 10% from the large ornate shield. So this is a pretty similar shield to that in its size, and then you're getting a higher fame bonus, so why not use it? So far I took one big hit. I wasn't even really paying attention. I think it might have been to my leg. It was the same thing during the Myrodonian build. I took like a couple big hits during each fight, but you know, one or two big hits aren't going to kill you. It's only if you're taking a bunch of them. And with this Ferodaka, I should be able to end most fights pretty quickly, so I think this should go pretty well. The other nice thing about this build is that since we don't have a ton of heavy armor, there's actually a pretty good stamina regen as well. I think it's about 85%. And you see how good the Ferodaka is. It's so accurate. It's so easy to go over someone's shield like that and hit their head for 40 damage. That's why I like it so much. Being able to use that with a shield, can't really beat it. Time to see if this build is the real deal. Got 1v8. I like my chances because the big shield, the Ferodaka, is really all you need, you know? Just don't get hit and you won't die. Really though, the Ferodaka lets you keep so much distance that it makes it a lot easier to, first of all, avoid damage, but then if you do need to block an attack, you're already further away from the enemies, so you can dodge back when you block, and then only the tip of their weapon is really going to be dangerous to you, and it's just going to hit your shield. Hit my right arm, that was good. Yeah, I'm not really getting too many hits here, but that's okay. The most important thing is to not take damage. You can always get your hits in later, but you can't get them in if you're dead. There we go. One kill and another helmet off. All right, so that one hit my chest for 28 damage, so that was not very good. Yeah, so far so good. I'm not even blocking really with this shield. I'm just kind of letting it sit there like I usually do with bigger shields, and it's doing fine like that. So I would say this double crescent, you can probably, for the most part, pretty well use it like you would use one of these big shields. You know, before the fight, I kind of was joking around saying just, oh shoot, my weapon broke. I didn't even realize. You know, I was kind of joking around saying like, don't get hit and you won't die. There is some truth to that because really your armor should be the last line of defense. Really, you should be trying to block as much as you can with your shield, or, you know, if you can dodge attacks too, that's great. But really, unless you're two-handing, which of course then your armor kind of is your shield, there's not much you can do about it. You're gonna get hit. But otherwise, if you've got a big shield, that's all you need really to avoid a lot of damage. That's why your shield positioning, both like when you're blocking and when it's just resting, is so important. And also, you know, knowing which shields you can trust and which ones you can't. And I'd say that at this point, I certainly feel like I can trust this double crescent. My helmet saved me from a lot of damage there, so that was good. There we go. Never forget about the shield bash. Really, the shield bash is like the #1 way to get around a shield, right? Because as good as some weapons are at going over the shield or around it, if you just completely bash the shield out of the way, no more shield. Where is my Ferodaka? So 1v6 on the Grand Villa. This might be a little bit tougher because it's such a small map. Chest got hit there, only for 10 damage, so I guess it wasn't a great hit. That's good. That's the other thing, that like having just, you know, a light chest like this, it is better than nothing because, you know, obviously you get a small armor percentage, but then it also stops you from taking bonus damage against unarmored, right? All kinds of weapons do bonus damage against unarmored spots. Yeah, you don't really want to leave anything completely unarmored if it's going to be in the line of fire. Okay, I got hit in my leg there, so you know that is going to occasionally happen. Like, you will get hit in your legs sometimes. It happens so rarely that it's kind of a fluke, really. It's not the kind of thing you have to worry about often enough to the point I'd say that leg armor is actually really important. I'm still okay here. I've got half my health left to deal with 4 guys, make that 3. So I think what makes the Ferodaka so good, stabbing over shields, is because it's got that slight curve to it, and it curves like, when you're holding it like this, it curves down towards their head, right? So if you go straight over the shield, the tip of the Ferodaka is like going to catch them perfectly on their forehead, and it makes it so easy. There we go. 119k fame. I didn't have the crowd meter maxed out, so could have even done better than that, but that's pretty good. So there you have it. A perfectly balanced build to give you both the best fame bonus you can get while still being a beast in combat and winning 1v8s like it's no problem. In terms of rating, I'm going to go 8 out of 10 because this build pretty much worked exactly how I wanted it to. It's great for getting a lot of fame, and it's also really an effective combat build, but it does have some gaps. Obviously, I did take some damage, so if I got a little unlucky, I could see things going a bit worse. Oh, that's it for this one. Let me know what you thought of that build, and if there's anything you would change, or if you have any ideas for future builds. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.